you started by talking about how this is really the first big step in fulfilling the aspiration that you have of being the first global beauty company to come out of India. Outside of this, what's next? You've already made inroads into the UAE market with some of your own brands. Lay out the global roadmap for me that you have over the next 3 to 5 years.
So, when you say I want to be, when I say I want to be a global beauty company, what does that mean? It doesn't mean that, hey, I created some brands in India and I'm going to try to sell these brands to the Indian diaspora in different parts of the world. Yes, that's one part of what I want to do. But as a global beauty company, I want to be the owner of brands that are mainstream brands for the larger consumer audience globally here. So what you will see, what we're going to try to build out over the coming years is we will have brands that are originating from different geographies of the world. We will have distribution networks in different geographies of the world. And then brands from one part of the world will be able to leverage the distribution network in the other part of the world to get access there. And that's what we mean by wanting to be a global beauty company coming out of India. So Vin Beauty, for example, we've laid organic distribution in the Middle East already. We obviously have very large distribution in India. We have 18 million transacted customers in India digitally. Here we have 30 million loyalty program members here in India. So when we bring Vin Beauty here, that distribution is leveraged by Vin Beauty over here. Similarly, as our distribution grows in other markets of the world, and our brand portfolio will also spread in those markets. So that's the vision, where it becomes a singular platform with multiple global brands, leveraging the distribution networks in different countries to be actually brands that are sold everywhere.
So will this be the preferred route that you intend to take as far as fulfilling this global aspiration is concerned, the joint venture like you have with Serena Williams? Are you looking at the celebrity route, inking more joint ventures that are contextual for the geographies that you want to be present in? Is that going to be the preferred route?
It is one of the routes, right? And there is no single solution or answer to it, right? So if you see what we did in the Middle East, we actually took our personal care brand Serena and then the Mom Square and Organic Harvest, and we took them into distribution at Carrefour and Lulu and other supermarkets and pharmacies in the Middle East there. We did not go and create a brand for the Middle East there. In the US, and and the reason why our first, global brand is a large US brand in partnership with an incredible global icon like Serena is because she transcends America. She transcends even age groups, right? So that brand can easily translate into different parts of the world, like a true global brand, like some of the other brands that you've talked about earlier have transcended outside the United States. So I think, we would evaluate every market differently, and I don't think there's a single answer for every market.
Well, speaking of answers, Darpan, what's the plan now as far as being IPO ready is concerned? It was a difficult period that you went through COVID. Give me a sense of where things currently stand as we start FY25. We don't have your FY24 numbers available just yet, but what was the year that just closed looking like, and what does the year ahead look like, more importantly, and how ready and confident do you feel about IPOing in 2025?
Well, we keep our fingers crossed. I think our target internally is to IPO in Diwali 2025. When I look at that journey, when we, hopefully touch wood, get there, for us, we'll hopefully be the first beauty company or the first consumer company with a global brand in its portfolio on the Indian Stock Exchange. We'll be the first, again, consumer company that will have a mix of a developing, super fast-growing geography like India and a highly developed, mature geography like the US, but which provides you with a much higher margin profile, because I'm selling products in the US for $30 versus I'm selling products in India for 300 rupees because they're very different markets here, right? If you look at FY21 to FY23, we grew at about 250% CAGR, 244% CAGR is what we grew between FY21 to 23. FY24, we focused on cost cutting to become profitable in FY25. So you asked me, what is it that we're looking forward to in FY25 is ensuring that at a group level, we are profitable. in FY25. We made a lot of investments over the last 2-3 years. First, it was for the inorganic acquisitions that we did in 2021. Then it was for the international foray, which now everybody knows of. But it was under wraps for the last 3 years. No one knew about what was happening in the US. And so FY25 now is for all of these bets to make sure they're delivering profits, which is when then we can go successfully on the public markets as a profitable, predictable company with hopefully the unparalleled growth rates. I mean, think of it, right? Our TAM becomes unlimited. As a global company, on the Indian stock markets, you're saying, oh, wow, you've got a mix of high margin profile countries, fast growing countries like India, and TAM is not a challenge. So, and brands that are not just local, but global. So I think it could be very interesting. Again, we keep our fingers crossed.
Well, it certainly is an interesting mix there that you're playing with, Darpan. But, while I understand that with the global aspirations, you do have a larger TAM, an addressable market that you intend to play with. But let's just talk about India, because that continues to be largely the bread and butter as far as the Good Glamm Group is concerned. What's the 18 million, the transacting customer base for you? What do you believe that could potentially be in the next few years? What are you targeting? What are you aiming for? How much have you been able to bring down burn by in the quest for profitability? And is it now enough on the plate as far as brands are concerned? Do you step back from making investments and just consolidate on what you currently have?
So 18 million transacted customers. We're currently adding about 5 to 6 million new transacted customers every year, right? And so if I take this over the next 3 to 5 years, our transacted customer base should be somewhere around 40 million transacted customers, which makes it, well, even today, we're the highest, by far the highest transacted customer base for any brand. It's typically marketplaces that have this kind of a transacted customer base. So that momentum will continue for us. With the 18 million transacted customers, hopefully getting to about 40 million transacted customers in the next 4 to 5 years. You're absolutely right. We are consolidating. If you see, we made 4 brand acquisitions in 2021. We haven't acquired any other brand in the last 2 years. We've only been busy growing them and then making them profitable. The only new investment we made, which was under wraps, was our international foray here in the United States. So, as I was alluding to earlier as well, we are very clear that we've made the investments that we had to make. We started cutting back costs. You asked me, how has profitability improved? So FY24, for the first time, we became a company. In FY23, we were CM2 negative. In FY24, we became CM2 positive. In FY25, we will become EBITDA positive. And that's the clear focus. So you're not going to be seeing any news, on multiple more brands. We're consolidating. For the last until this announcement, for the last 2 years, we didn't do any other acquisition, no new brands. We're focused on what we had, and we were only growing them.
What has been the big learning through the highs and lows that you've seen in the last few years, Darpan, as you've tried to build this business out? You have, of course, restructured the business. You have tried to create moats around, whether it's the content side or it's the brand side. What's been the big lesson for you, the big learning that you would like to share with other entrepreneurs, with other founders who are looking at scale and predictable profitability? In your words.
So, I think it's been a very interesting few years for every entrepreneur. Started with COVID. Then after COVID, it became the 2021 madness. After that, it became the 2022, the geopolitical situation that happened, the funding winter that happened, the shift from 2021 being so exuberant to then going for, it's a pendulum, then going the other way and saying, cut costs and become profitable. So I would say from 2020 March, since COVID hit, to now, it's literally been an incredible journey. I'm pretty sure for every entrepreneur here. And I think, I think, ensuring that your foundational business model, fundamentally is very, very sound. And I don't think there is any more substitute for profitability anymore. I don't think that time, irrespective, funding comes back and things become exuberant again. I don't think there is, ever going to be a shift away from, not having profitability right at the forefront. So my only advice I would give everybody is focus on profitability. That's here to stay. And you'll keep finding ways to grow even while you're cutting costs and trying to be profitable.
Well, it's a hard lesson learned, isn't it? There is no substitute for profitability and cash flow. But Darpan, before I let you go, have you managed to get on court with Serena Williams? What's been the Williams magic that you've been able, that's rubbed off on you, if any at all?
I don't think there is no way I can get on court with Serena Williams. I think the magic that rubs off. There's magic every time we speak. She is the ultimate winner in life, and I think that's just the aura, the personality, and she has that with humility. That's the other incredible thing. So I think it's those two things which just keep rubbing off every time we speak to her, every time we see her. I mean, her work ethic, even now, it amazes all of us. So I would say, it's her attitude, the ultimate winner in life, with the humility that she has, is what we hope we can imbibe a little bit of.
Well, Darpan Sanghvi, I can vouch for that. I did an interview with Serena when she was here in India. I can't remember exactly when, but clearly more than a decade ago, and I can totally vouch for what you say. She is the ultimate winner. But appreciate you joining us here on Young Turks. We wish you the very best of luck with the Win Beauty and, of course, with the global aspirations that the Good Glamm Group has. And we look forward to hearing more from you about the launch and about the road ahead. And good luck for the proposed IPO in 2025 as well.
Thank you, Shireen. Thank you so very much.
Well, with that, it is time for us to wrap up this edition of Young Turks. From all of us here on the program, many thanks for watching. We'll see you again after the very short break on CNBC-TV18. Stay tuned.